Super Bowl is one of the biggest party events of the year, and that can lead to a big problem, and a lot of them on the road. And that's why police all across the country will be out come Sunday looking for impaired drivers. News Source 16's Chris McKee is in the studio to show us why those patrols are so critical. Chris?
Matt, last year on Super Bowl weekend, 2 people died in Oregon crashes. 59 others were arrested for DUII, according to state police. In the Eugene-Springfield area, at least 12 people went to jail for impaired driving. While drunk driving arrests usually surge during special event days like the Super Bowl, it is just a snapshot of the day-to-day problem. Tonight, a special inside look at how Springfield police officers are fighting back.
People are still coming rather than going.
Any given night,
Dave 1 traffic.
Officer Tom Speldrich's job,
Dave 1, I'm code 4. Can you key 1?
is about looking out
You see that?
for who shouldn't be on the road.
I'm Officer Tom Speldrich with Springfield Police Department. I've worked here at Springfield for about 3.5, almost 4 years.
For nearly 2 years of that time, Officer Speldrich has served as Springfield's dedicated DUII patrol officer. Specifically, he's trained as a drug recognition evaluator.
It builds stronger cases, better courtroom testimony, but it also allows the street cop who's been through the training to recognize signs of impairment other than alcohol.
Springfield has 3 DRE officers to combat impaired driving.
On any given night, there's so many DUIs that probably drive by us that we don't even get stopped.
Nationally, an estimated 11,000 people die in impaired driving-related crashes each year. Around 1 million drivers will be arrested for the crime, some by Springfield police.
By the end of a Friday or a Saturday night, I can be down 3 or 4, at least that many reports.
In Springfield alone, from February 2011 to 2012, Officer Speldrich arrested 202 DUII drivers.
I arrest a lot of normal, everyday people being a DUI officer. But it's a crime that people from all walks of life commit.
Our cameras follow Officer Speldrich on a Friday night. The work starts early, clocking 2 speeders.
So a lot of what I do is I stop cars for just basic minor traffic violations like that, and that's what leads to me figuring out if somebody's impaired.
One is warned.
All right, man, you can slow down a bit.
The other gets a ticket, but neither driver is impaired.
My goal is to not just go and hang a bunch of tickets on people, it's to educate people about the importance of driving safely and, of course, take those off the road that aren't.
Speed is one big sign of impairment, but another is a failure to multitask.
They may be driving straight, they may be driving the speed limit, but if something, like a cat walks out on the sidewalk or something, it might catch their attention, then before you know it, they're clearing the other lane.
After 1 hour on patrol,
I'm not sure why he did that.
An indicator on 42nd Street heading towards Maine. The driver of a white car swerves.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and stop this car.
Pulled over at 46th and Maine.
Hey, how we doing, guys?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Hey, I'm Officer Speldrich with Springfield Police. Just so you know, I'm recording audio. The reason I stopped you is just when you were driving down 42nd, I noticed you were swerving back and forth a little bit, crossed over the center lane line. And then just when you change lanes back here on Main, you just got to signal for 100 feet before you do so.
I'm sorry about that.
After letting the male driver find paperwork.
Oh, I can give you a minute to look for it. How much did you have to drink today?
No, I haven't been.
You haven't drank any at all?
No.
Can I look at your eyes real quick, just make sure you're good to go?
Yeah.
A look at the eyes is the first suspicion.
You haven't drank any alcohol at all today?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
When you don't be truthful, I wonder how much you're holding back. Okay, and it makes me more suspicious than if you're just honest and tell me what you drank.
Right.
How much did you really drink?
I haven't been.
You take any medication?
The driver says he's taken a prescription painkiller called Norco and ibuprofen for an injury, but no alcohol.
He might be a Dewey. He's got this lethargicness to him.
Another officer comes to assist.
I'm gonna pull him out and do some tests. Are you willing to perform field sobriety tests?
What's that?
Are you willing to perform field sobriety tests?
Yeah, if I need to.
Well, let's get you checked out if that's all right with you.
The driver is asked to perform 4 tests. The first,
Going to look at the light there.
the driver is asked to track a light with just his eyes. After about a minute,
Nope, you're not looking at it. Are you gonna do this test?
I was just looking at the light.
2 minutes later, the next test, walking a straight line, counting each step while looking down and arms to the side.
Look at your feet.
After that, standing on 1 foot while staring at the one being held up and counting with arms to the side.
You haven't looked at your foot yet.
Finally, a counting and alphabet test.
85, 687.
We're done with all the tests. So you haven't drank any alcohol at all?
No.
And the only medication you're taking is Norco?
Yep.
Well, something is definitely impairing you. What do you think it is?
I'm sorry if I swerved a little bit.
The question unanswered.
What do you think is impairing you right now?
What do I think is impairing?
Yeah. Maybe you can help me head it off.
I don't know. I'm sorry I took my medication. They didn't tell me I couldn't drive.
Do you,
I took my medication.
do you think your meds make you feel a little loopy, or what's going on?
Well, it's pain medication, yeah.
So yeah, okay. All right, man. You're under arrest for DUI. Go ahead and put your hands behind your back. For somebody that hasn't drank any alcohol, you sure smell like it.
Next stop for the arrested driver
Have a seat for me.
is the Springfield jail.
They don't intend to hurt anybody. In fact, they don't want to hurt anybody. But nonetheless, they're still just as dangerous as the person that does intend to hurt somebody.
Inside the jail, the driver refuses to take a breathalyzer test. Next is booking. Jail guards take the driver's possessions, and around 90 minutes after the initial stop, the driver is in a holding cell with $2,500 bail as officers find a prior DUII arrest on his record. Officer Speldrich writes an initial report, then it's back on the streets.
All right, buddy, we're out of here. They're always out there. And it's just a matter of us getting the right car stopped at the right time.
While the work continues with high numbers, officers say they see a light at the end of the tunnel.
I think that we're making great progress. I worked here at Springfield before we opened the new jail, and I've now worked here after. And it's getting harder to find DUI drivers on the street.
Now, as for the driver arrested in this story here, he is still charged with DUII. He did plead not guilty to that charge and is set to go to court this May. In the studio, I'm Chris McKee, News Source 16.